Welcome to part 3 of my $6 million man restoration project. In this video today we are going to look at socks. So a part I've not been able to find easily for Steve Austin, the $6 million man, is his socks. Obviously these are something that got lost very easily as a kid, like his shoes do, and you can buy replacement socks on eBay, but they seem quite expensive for what they are. They just look like a small piece of cotton fabric sewn around the edge. People are charging sort of £4 or £5 for a pair of socks, and I thought there must be a better alternative than spending that much money on some socks. So some lateral thinking, and this is what I came up with. You can buy cotton gloves. This pair cost me 99p for one pair, but you can actually get them cheaper than that. I should have been able to buy 20 pairs of gloves for £1.50 from China, but as I'm only fixing up $2, that seemed a bit crazy. These are the sort of gloves that you would use for touching sort of very rare antiques or something like that. So they're made out of cotton, quite a nice clean white fabric, and I thought that just cutting off 2 fingers should produce 2 socks. So let's try this out. They look about the right size. They should fit on his legs quite nicely. So initially I'm going to cut off the forefinger of both pairs of gloves, turn it inside out. It looks like there's quite a lot of excess fabric on the inside of this, which I can trim out, and we'll see how well these fit on his feet. So here are the 2 gloves, and I'm going to cut off this finger off both pairs of gloves and then modify it slightly so that it should be the same size. So I'm going to, obviously the largest part I can cut up to is just that curve there, so I'm going to carefully cut this across. Like so. I think I can neaten that up a bit now as well, now that it's off the finger. Looks pretty good. Might be a little bit small, but we'll have to see how much we can stretch that once it's on the figure. So here are the fingers that I've cut off. As you can see, they've got quite a lot of excess fabric. This is the finger turned inside out. There's quite a lot of excess fabric, so I'm just going to trim that off, and then I can turn these back out inside out so they're the right way round, and we'll try them on the Steve Austin doll. And here we have the end result. As you can see, they are not quite as good as I hoped they would be. I've got one pair of socks which are sort of a reasonable length, and by the time I put trousers on him, he will look all right. The second pair of socks are really short. The fingers on those gloves were just too short, really. I was hoping that they'd be sort of more of a man-sized glove. They obviously appear to be sort of lady-sized, so the finger length was just too short. And as you can see on these ones here, they really don't quite fit. So I'm going to see what I can do to get a second pair that has longer fingers, because I think in principle it should work quite nicely. So I showed Mrs. Toy-polloi the socks I'd made using the fingers from these cotton gloves, and she thought she might be able to make something better. So she took the fabric that was left out of the cotton gloves, so these sort of palms and backs of the hands area, and she cut some strips of fabric that were about 10 centimetres long by about 5 centimetres wide. And then folding those over, she sewed along the edge to make a tube, and then sewed along the bottom to sort of make a sealed tube like a sock, but also left it so that there was the sort of edging along the top. And this is the result. And as you can see here, if I just hold some up, we've got some quite nice looking socks. The fabric is a pretty good match to the originals, I would say. It's got some sort of minor banding in it, sort of little stripes on it, like a tube sock, and they look really good. So let's go ahead and we'll swap out. Here are the socks I made, which are just the cut fingers with the rough edge. If I take one of those off, and I'll pop on one of Mrs. Toy-polloi's socks. So let's just roll that up. And as you can see, that looks loads better. It's got a nice finished top to it. The sock is a little bit longer, so it stays on the calf better, and it fits very nicely. So I would say that is a very good replacement sock there. It uses the same fabric, so it uses the glove that I paid 99p for, and it's given me a good sock. So I've got she's kindly made me 4 socks, so I've got enough to put on both of my $6 million men dolls. So there you go. That's the first Steve Austin with his replacement socks. And that's it for this video. I didn't want to make it quite as epic as the last video. So join me for part 4 when we'll look at trying to replace the last few missing bits on this figure and touching up the paintwork on his head to repair it and make it look as good as new. So subscribe to keep up to date with all of my videos, and thanks for watching.